Hello, hello. I don't think anyone's in here yet. Let's see, what do I need to do? Setting up for YouTube streams is so new to me still, and I haven't done it in months, so let's see. Maybe I would honestly stream more if I changed my setup. Might be a New Year's resolution, to be honest. Let's see. Oh, hi! Okay, people are here now. Hello, everyone! Surprise! Surprise late night stream. Hey! Hi. Special hi to my mods. Hey, Jolene. Hey, Maple. Hey, Zeke. Hi, Shy. Yeah, it is random. Hey. Hi, friends. Oh my god, there's so many of you. Holy cow. Hecate. Hey. Hi, you guys. Hey, Sierra. You're working for changing your setup for lives too. I'm telling you. I think I'd live stream more if it wasn't such a pain in my neck. Also, I just got a warning that it's like a flash flood warning. Los Angeles is losing its freaking mind. Like, not LA as a city, just the weather. Somebody told me the other day, and I don't know how true the statistic is, that LA has had more rain, like, by volume in, like, the last, like, month or two than New York City gets an entire year. Or maybe it's just, like, a relative amount of rain. Yes, you guys, to help out the mods with spam, no locations, no time checks, anything like that, pretty please. I appreciate you guys so much. I hope it's lovely. It's a beautiful time of day, wherever in the world you are. Are y'all good over there? No, Zeke. No, we are not. We are really, truly not good. We are not. Thanks for asking. There's flooding going on in California too. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's been like bad here. I don't know what other parts of California it's in, but probably just like a lot of SoCal. They say it's a state of emergency. They say it's a state of emergency. Oh no, besties. Wait a minute. It's a state of emergency and I'm streaming. It's been really rainy though. I was on the East Coast for the first part of the new year. I've been on the East Coast a lot lately. So I guess when I came home, I didn't really like realize how much it had been raining because it rains a lot. Like, I'm from Georgia and it rains like constantly. So I guess it like didn't shock me. I was just like, oh, more rain. Also, I messed around with my mic a lot, and as you can tell, it's now in frame, which is driving me nuts. But I had a VOD that I was working on and editing down. My editor edited it down. And then I was like working on it to like put in my, my intro and stuff. And I was like, I sound really quiet. So let me know how the volume is for you guys. Thank you, Maple. Thank you, guys. Sierra, I hope I don't lose power either. I almost didn't stream because I was like, is the power gonna go out? That has happened to me before. I've streamed my entire street went totally dark. It was crazy. Okay, I'm finally taking a sip of my water. Desi, your street is covered in snow. Oh my god. I don't miss those days. I lived out in the Midwest for a couple of years. And the snow, driving through it there. Number one, I had a Mustang. I had a Mustang convertible. Without four-wheel drive. And no snow tires. And I swear to you, I don't know how I made it through my first winter in Kansas without getting into a car accident. I really don't. Because it was such bad, thick snow. No worries to those of you who are just popping in for the stream and who might be checking back out. I realized recently that YouTube now stores your live streams in a different part of your YouTube channel, so I'm not gonna like unlist them anymore. So you can always watch in the morning. I would be okay without the snow, but I definitely do prefer the cold. It's interesting. I really preferred the cold for many years, and then I moved to California like permanently. I just love the weather here so much. I just love the weather in SoCal. Pat Rice and Grind Gamers. Hello, Soupy Nuggets. Hello, hello. Hey, Ren. Okay, so we're gonna hang out for a little bit and then we'll get started. But basically, I thought I would try my hand at something. And I wanted to talk to you guys a bit about YouTube. Yay! My sweet little YouTube. I have been so chronically offline lately. But yeah, I have some fun kind of announcements, I guess, to make. Some things I want to chit chat with you guys about. Some plans. And oh my God, as I was talking about the weather, I just got a Citizen alert. Do you guys have Citizen on your phone? It's really good for, like I downloaded it one night because it was 3 a.m. and I had woken up and I could hear like this like big like sound overhead and I didn't know what it was. Hey Pluto, thanks for modding tonight. Hi. But I downloaded this app because it like tells you what's going on in your area or whatever. Like it'll tell you like big things that are going on and like people can report stuff. So if there's like a car accident or something like that, like you can report things. And it turned out it was a helicopter overhead, like this big noise. So ever since I've had it on my phone, and it just alerted me to tell me there is a large sinkhole in street. The other night, I was playing D&D with my friends. Actually, can I show you guys this picture of me and my cat? It's really cute. Look at us. This is me and my haunter. It's like not focusing, but look how cute. Oh God, my finger. I broke my nail. I've never actually broken my nail past like my finger. Like I've definitely like jammed my finger and stuff. I broke my entire nail, like down to like the base of the nail. And I had on my fake nails. I had them much longer than this, but I had to trim them down. So I don't want you guys to see my little nub finger right now without my nail. But the other night I was playing D&D with my friends. And I always tell my friend Tay about like weird Citizen updates I'll get, because one time they were with me and I got like a really weird one, and I want to read you this one because it's so funny. It's literally so funny. Okay. Armed Subway sandwich heist. Officers are searching for a suspect wearing a blue ski mask and armed with a gun who stole a hoagie and $300 at gunpoint. Somebody had to write the copy for that news blast because some person stole a sandwich and $300. And I loved that they had to specify the hoagie. I loved that, like, I number one, love the title. Subway sandwich heist, so real. But like the person stole the sandwich and the $300. You would think that normally they would just be like, this person robbed a Subway. Was the sandwich really worth it? Was the sandwich really worth it? Man's really just wanted a Subway sandwich, I know. It made me laugh so hard. There was one other that made me laugh really hard the other day. I don't remember what it said though. I don't remember what in the world it said. I've had like some that are really interesting, but they're like too based on like my location specifically that like I wouldn't feel comfortable sharing them. But man, sometimes there are some weird ones. Can't rob on an empty stomach. You're not you when you're hungry. You're not you when you're hungry. All right, so I think that we have a good chunk of people in now. So let's chit chat a bit about the channel. First and foremost, Happy New Year. Hello, hello. If it was on Italian bread, it probably was. If you stole the sandwich and it wasn't at least on Italian herbs and cheese, I don't really know the point. Wait, before I talk about this, somebody asked me what class and race I play in D&D, and I'm so very glad you asked. I play an astral elf. Her name is Soleil. I love her so much, and she's a cleric. And I created her specifically for my very first D&D campaign, which was this one. I had so much fun. Soleil literally like single-handedly destroyed the final boss in our campaign with like the power of friendship and just being really honest with this dragon. I stan her. I stan her so much. Anyway, so that's my D&D character. Back to business. So Happy New Year. I do wish that... I wish YouTube was better about telling me, like rolling in comments, because it's so delayed. Hold on one second. I just realized that I need to fix something on this. I don't know what I didn't set correctly. It's my upload policy that isn't right. Oh, it's under rights management. That's right. Okay. Okay, well, I don't think that's... do that. Yeah, I think this is good. Okay, there we go. Let's see, did I fix this? I don't know if I did or not. Don't know if I fixed it. Okay, I fixed it. Cool. Yay. Okay. So, Loeylane is your device source. Nodders. Soleil's deity is Helios. So she's like a sun. She's a sun elf. Like that's like the majority of her powers and stuff. Okay, did I do this correctly? I think I did. I don't know. There's like this thing that you can pull up where you can... Oh, live control room. I figured it out. Okay, now I can follow you guys' comments. I think without delay. I hope without delay. Fingers crossed. So, I think we may have just run the first ad, so I'm going to wait a second. Just downloaded Citizen. So real. Ezekiel. So real. Try not to get like too sucked into it. Sometimes like crazy things happen. Jolene, I'm actually in love with your current hair color and you. Thank you. I feel like I either need to put some rosy tones back in it. Like I like the kind of base of my hair, but as you can tell, the front of my head lifted a lot more. My stylist thinks that we should probably try to lighten the rest if I want to. But yeah, I haven't fully decided. I haven't fully decided what I'm going to do with it. If I'm going to tone it, keep it rosy, cool it out, take out some of the brass. Anyway, now that the stream is finally like set up, I think. Hey, Happy New Year. I really hope you guys had a good holiday season. I hope that you were with people that you love. I hope that if you celebrate anything, that you had a wonderful time. And I hope that if holidays are hard for you, you are thankful that it is all over now. I was planning on actually taking a lot of time off for January, which I do tend to do. I have been going through a lot lately. Kind of just like some sort of hard mental things. I don't know if you guys have ever gone through the experience of having one diagnosis for your mental health or your mental illness, and then finding out that you were not only misdiagnosed, but also have been given medication that you shouldn't have been on for many years. And I will open up about that and the semantics of that at some point. But I kind of had a really, really, really tough couple of months. And maybe went home to the suburbs instead of going to the grippy sock hospital, you know? Sometimes it's just like that. So I was thinking about having some time off from YouTube. And just realized that that was kind of stressing me out more than Soupy Nuggets. I love you. Thank you so much. I'll cry right now. Window behind me going crazy. Why is the window behind me going crazy? Wait, why would it be going crazy? Don't say that. Don't say that. I don't like that. Anyway, so I was thinking about some time off and then realized that I think that it was kind of stressing me out more. The idea of like stepping away from YouTube, even if it was like maybe for a good reason, just stressed me out like more. So I am going to try my best to be present in whatever way makes sense right now. For example, I definitely felt like I could not go through all of the work, I guess, of filming something, coming up with a video topic, like doing all sorts of kind of that stuff right now. So I decided instead, oh, the light in the window, guys, that's just my neighbor's light. That's, sorry, I don't know why I didn't address that earlier. It's like a motion sensor light. So if you see it go on and off, that's all it is. So, with streams like this, I'm hoping I can pop in just as much as feels right for me and as much as feels, like something I can handle. But I also think that it's really positive for me. I've said so many times that I do genuinely think, as I'm like tearing up, I do genuinely think that streaming is really good for my mental health. I think that that's a really rare experience. I know so many people who stream and have a terrible time with it, but because my audience is so unfathomably kind, because everyone who watches my content, sure, there are like people who will come in and leave a mean comment from time to time or whatever, but you guys are so nice. Like the people who are here on a regular basis are like so kind to me that I just think that like kind of being surrounded with that energy would be really helpful for me. So that's sort of where I'm at. I don't know, like I could have a video that goes up tomorrow. It could be a month. I might just be streaming for a bit or only popping in every now and then. So I hope that makes sense. My kind of hope for this year is to get back to a place where we're streaming regularly, and probably doing like at least like 2 videos a week again, but I think that that's going to take some time to work up towards. And I thought that streaming was kind of like the lowest, like, you know, it just felt like, I don't know, it felt like it would be the lowest intensity thing for me to sort of dip my toes in and see where I'm at. I hope that wasn't too much. I hope you guys don't mind the little mental health chat, but that's kind of where I've been at and what I've been going through. And I'm good. I promise. I'm back in therapy, which was very, very necessary. And, you know, just doing what I can. Yeah. Thank you very much for being here. I know it's very late as well. The idea of being online at all kind of freaked me out, but I thought about skipping it. I thought about like, okay, well, nobody really knows. Like my mods knew I was going live and like, you know, I kind of tweeted something, but nobody, I should probably tweet that I'm live. But I thought about it and just like the idea that I could hang out with you guys and the comfort that like I wouldn't be alone and that I could have someone to talk to who like genuinely cared about me was Very nice. So that's what I've been going through. Nothing like realizing that you have had the wrong diagnosis for so many years at my big age of 29 years old. And it's just been really rocking me and kind of messing with my sense of self and my identity. But I think I'm on like a healing path. I think I'm on a path to recovery. Why does my ponytail look like that? I swear I'm brushing my hair. Not that much. It's been raining like crazy, like I said. But everything will get better. And everything is always going to be okay. And if you are in like a similar boat with me, number one, I think my mental health just like tanks every single year around the holiday season. Holy cow. I get so severely unwell the millisecond like it hits a colder season, and it's possibly related to like just the time of year being kind of traumatic for me, but also I just genuinely think seasonal depression is a thing, and it kicks off a bunch of other stuff. On top of that, I've just had a lot going on recently. I don't know if you guys saw, but my cat, actually someone named Carson was just in chat. So hey Carson, if you're here. If you guys are kind of like following me on other social media, my cat Carson very unexpectedly had to have every single one of his teeth taken out of his mouth except for 2, which was very unexpected. So happy that he's like doing well, but having a sick pet is really hard. You guys also usually, if you're familiar with my streams, you always get an Annie check. Annie is in her crate right now. All of the pups are over in their beds at the moment, just while I stream, because they are so much when I try to stream, and I thought I would just put them to bed for now. But Annie also, I guess it's a common thing with schnauzers, or it's like somewhat more common in her breed. Annie, my dog, is a miniature schnauzer, and she has early onset cataracts, which has also been really hard. You know, I lost my cat Lily over the summer this past year. So like having a sick pet. Oh my God, I just looked at the amount of time I've been live. I just like looked over and it was 22 minutes and 22 seconds. Angel numbers. 2222. I love that. I've been seeing a lot of those lately. It's been makes me feel like I'm doing something right. But I lost my cat Lily over the summer. So anytime that my pets are not like in tip-top shape, I get so deeply stressed out. So that's another reason I've been offline. But to be totally frank with you, mostly I've just been crying in my mommy's house. I've just been with my family, crying hysterically, but also healing and getting better. And yeah. So you like Fleetwood Mac. I almost said Fleetwood Mac. I do. This is one of my favorite sweatshirts. This is the cutest Stevie Nicks sweatshirt. Stevie Nicks, my witchy little queen. So, yeah. That is that. That is that. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all so much for letting me vent. That felt so good. I really needed that. It's interesting because like I honestly, my support group right now is incredible. I have such incredible people in my life, friends, my family really understands what I'm going through. And I felt like I really have like no lack of people who I can like talk to about life and like what I'm feeling. But it felt like this big like, it feels like if I'm not like keeping you guys up to speed, at least to a degree, like I'm like living in secret and it's very weird. So yeah, thank you guys. So that being said, today, and we'll get into it here in a second, we're going to be looking into a true crime thing. And again, I kind of want to try out some different sorts of methods of streaming. Normally when I do stream, it's just me playing like a scary game or something. But have you guys ever heard of that channel? It's called JCS Criminal Psychology. Number one, they have been offline, this poster, for so long. I was actually just checking their last video update. Oops, I didn't mean to click on that. Their last video was posted May 26th of 2021, and then they just posted another video like 2 weeks ago. And so I was kind of like binge watching the channel and getting caught up, and not getting caught up because, again, they hadn't posted in a really long time, but like I just really had never been that into this channel, you know? I thought it was just people like in court cases. Like I thought it was just like straight footage of people in interrogation rooms and stuff. I did not realize how fascinating these videos are. JCS goes into the criminal psychology of criminals, right? And like these videos are so cool. So I thought we could watch one together tonight. I'm not usually like a reactor, I guess I'd say, but yeah, I thought we'd give it a shot. Let's see how we like it, right? Why not? There was this one I wanted to watch. I started watching it, and then I was like, I'd rather hang out with you guys than do this. So, is that... There are leaves from my dead plants all over. Can you see that on the kitchen counter? The one behind me, or the kitchen floor, the one behind me right there is fake. Because I can't keep them alive at all. Don't worry, JD. This VOD will be here in the morning. So if you guys can't hang out for the night, don't even worry about it. That's so funny. The amount of dead leaves on the floor behind me that I just didn't notice is cracking me up. Rin, yeah, they can get really heavy from time to time. But also Rin, I'm adding you as a mod. Case you wanted to. What was I just saying? They can get really intense, but they're fascinating. So I think that's what we're gonna watch is one of their videos, but specifically this one is about somebody.
When forensic health.
Thank you so much, JCS. This is going to be... Wait, I should probably start recording just in case I want to do something VOD with this. I love you too, Laura. I love you guys. I love you guys so much. Okay, so let me find what I was just looking at. Okay, so this... That's so bright. Do you see the difference of that? Why is Wikipedia that bright? I honest to God don't even need like ring lights or anything like that. I could literally just use Wikipedia. So we're looking into a man today named Stephen McDaniel. Now, this was a person who, like, for all purposes, should have been like on the right path in life, right? This guy had just graduated law school, from what I understand, when this murder happened, and he was going on to take the bar exam to become a lawyer. That's right. He was a recent graduate of Mercer Law School, and apparently this happened in Macon, Georgia. I did not know that. Wait, really? That's crazy. Yeah. Wow. Holy cow. I did not know this happened in Macon. That's wild. I'm from Georgia, in case you didn't know. Did the lighting just go crazy? A little bit. I may have to mess with that, actually. Hold on one second. Where's my webcam? Properties. How do I turn off... It's on auto white balance, which must be why, but whatever. It's not worth throwing the entire setting off for now, but I will have to fix that for the next stream. So, this all happened apparently in like Macon, Georgia. This guy, Stephen, was a recent graduate of Mercer Law School, which is in Macon, Georgia. And the victim of this case is named Lauren Giddings, which also got to me because my full first name is Lauren. So it was like eerie to me, like just hearing my name like in this video. And that's why I stopped it. I was like, oh, you know. So that is weird. Wow. So that being said, this is like an entire case about a guy who seemingly had that nice guy persona where he was like perfectly fine. He was just a little weird. And it turned out he was actively stalking Lauren, the victim in this case. And of course that ended in something really dark. So, yeah. Oh boy, not Loeylane. The comments are just now catching up. Yeah, my legal name is Lauren. There's very few people who call me Lauren, though. It's really just like my family and like if I'm dating someone, sometimes they call me that. But yeah, okay. Let me do a few things and then we will be good to... I have to be really careful whenever I show my screen because this is so embarrassing. My background on my computer is still part of an ARG I've been working on forever. And if you saw it, you'd probably know. But yeah. Okay. Let's see. I caught you live. Yes, hello. Not gonna lie, that sounds weird. You're Loey Bug to me. Loey is much more... Loey's how I introduce... I thought you were like, oh, name was Loey Bug. What do you mean? Loey is much more what I go by, but there's like a sweetness to Lauren. Lauren as my name means a lot to me because like no one calls me that. It's only like people who... I don't know. That I like consider family. So, all right. I'm nervous. I've never really done content like this, but I'm really excited. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun. Okay, so if I go down to here, there we go. All right, we're gonna play it for just a second so I can see the audio levels, and I'm gonna ask you guys how it sounds in correlation to my voice. And then I'm gonna start it over and we'll start watching. Ooh.
When forensic health professionals evaluate stalking, 4 essential items are taken into consideration.
That sounded like a robo
relationship
voice.
Between the stalker and the victim, the stalker's motivations, the psychological, psychopathological, and social realities of the stalker, and the psychological and social vulnerabilities of the victim. The subject of...
Okay. All right. How do we feel about that? Is that okay? How do we feel? I might move my camera actually back over to where it usually is, which is like there-ish. Yeah, right there. So how does that sound? Would you guys like me to bump anything up, bump anything down? Sounds good, sounds good. It really did. It sounds like a robo voice, and I know that it's not like a robot voice. I think these are like professionally narrated for each of them. It's fine, but the video is a tad quiet. Good to know. I can bump that up a bit. This face scared you. I'm so sorry. It's low. All right, what I'm going to do is change my levels a tiny bit. Let's try one more time with the video. I'd like to leave... Sounds fine, a little lower than your voice. Okay.
When forensic health professionals evaluate stalking, 4 essential items are taken into consideration.
That's
the nature of the relationship
bit
between the
louder.
stalker and the victim, the stalker's motivations, the psychological, psychopathological, and social realities of the stalker, and the psychological and social
captions.
vulnerabilities of the
Thank
victim.
you, Shai. I
The
will do
subject
that.
of this episode...
All right. We'll turn on the captions here, and is that okay? Is that better, or should I go up even more? A little loud now. Oh no. We'll have to land somewhere in the middle. Good to you. Good balance. Good balance. Okay. Cool. Let me know if anything gets too loud. I'd rather know than like get too far in. Andy Padilla, hello, number one, welcome. But also I thought you were my friend Anthony. I was just like, Anthony Padilla in my live stream. But I'm also equally as happy to have Andy Padilla. Oh, guys, the sinkhole gets more interesting on Citizen, right? So 30 minutes ago, large sinkhole in street. Now we have manhole exposed. I thought it was like a man exposing something, and then I realized it's a manhole that's been exposed. So I was like, his mustache looks like it's flowing out of his nose. My guy looked crusty. You guys are so funny. You're literally so funny. All right, so now we're finally watching this video, and yeah, I'm excited.
When forensic health professionals evaluate stalking, four essential items are taken into consideration. The nature of the relationship between the stalker and the victim, the stalker's motivations, the psychological, psychopathological, and social realities of the stalker, and the psychological and social vulnerabilities of the victim. The subject of this episode is 25-year-old Stephen McDaniel. And
Screw you, Stephen McDaniel. Freaking twat. He looks real sad there in that image.
To gain a deeper understanding
Stalker.
of the foregoing components, we have to extract certain elements through the knowledge of hindsight. The evolution of technology over the past 2 decades has made forensic investigations considerably more efficient. 2 of the items on this list can now be examined through a single component, which would otherwise take forensics weeks or even months to conduct in a previous era. And that component is the internet, or more specifically, internet search history.
I think about that constantly. I think about it all of the time that, like, prior to the internet, there was just, I mean, like, I did my H.H. Holmes video, and I think about constantly how, like, I don't know how they solved crimes then. I literally have no idea. I feel like the internet has made things so much easier, especially as, like, as far as evidence goes, because you can find someone's search history so easily. And, like, that's so incriminating. Like, I think all the time about, it wasn't Jodi Arias, it was Casey Anthony who Googled some kind of, like, really weird, was it chloroform she Googled, and then that was used as, like, something in the case. And Casey Anthony's a whole can of worms in herself, but like, it's interesting. It's really interesting that the internet plays such a role, and your internet privacy, like, doesn't exist when it comes to crimes, essentially. Yeah.
The disclosure of web browser data is often a crucial piece of evidence for building a case, as it can unveil many aspects of a suspect's personality that would otherwise be kept hidden. And this is sometimes far more effective than anything else presented in court, including information extracted during a full confession. Without going into specific detail, a large majority of the subject's time was spent watching porn that surrounded the theme of violence and torture. He would also conduct back-to-back searches of how to commit sexual assault, and would type in several variations of the phrase, "how to molest sleeping girl." To forensics, this isn't
repulsion. Disgusting. This absolute creep. This is what I'm saying, though. Like, previously, you could not find things like this, or, like, you wouldn't really know this about people. People could, like, keep things like this a secret. They could keep, like, these absolutely unhinged, disgusting parts of who they are. Like, I was kind of, like, giggling when it was just, like, porn, but then, of course, it gets into, like, the broader search history, and it's way, way darker. Like, at that point, I mean, you can not pin anything on anybody, but it's like, if you are, like, looking things like that up, like, it's not going to be hidden. You know what I mean? Like, it will come up. But that being said, I did not realize that this case was going to take that kind of turn. So a broader trigger warning here. I think I'm going to add a quick thing. Ah, well, poop. Oops. The efforts, the lengths that I've gone to avoid you guys seeing my home screen. If you saw it for that split second, no, you didn't. Doesn't matter. I haven't picked up my ARG in a minute anyway, but I'm going to add a quick trigger warning to the title of this. Let's see. A founding father. As a writer, I make some questionable searches. Listen, as long as you're not involved in an incredibly intense crime, and also, like, I think that there's a difference between someone having an alibi for the kinds of searching things that they look up online. Like, I certainly look up crazy things all the time for my videos. Like, I looked up the definition of stalking. I looked up the definition of what makes someone a stalker for this video. And like, you know, like, there's definitely like a difference between someone searching for something like that that's clearly so gross and intense, versus like somebody just searching something that was clearly like they were just Googling. You know what I mean? Thank you guys so much for not seeing my desktop at all. Thank you guys so much. That's so funny. I have gone through the craziest lengths to hide that. Like, I cannot believe I just did that. That's so funny. It's all right, though. I'm planning on talking about my ARG a bit in the next couple of months anyway. Plus, I haven't updated it in a while. So, anyway. Okay, so now that trigger warning has been added, and just know, you guys, that does seem as though it will be a theme throughout this. Yeah. All right. Back at it, baby.
An overt sign of desensitization to sexual activity. Excessive exposure to online pornography can have this effect over time. It can build up a tolerance to the traditional idea of sex, therefore the subject may continue a more potent form of stimuli to get the same rush. For Stephen McDaniels, this began with watching abstract material on the internet and eventually led him to planning and then carrying out what he saw on screen. His target was 24-year-old Lauren Giddings, his next-door neighbor of 3 years. And this takes us to item 4 of the forensic.
He lived next to her for 3 years. He lived next to this woman for 3. That is horrifying. Like, where does that build up? Like, is it an idea that he always had in his head? Did he always have this like sick fantasy of like one day hoping maybe he would murder this woman? Or like, does it build up over time? It's so sad. And she's so beautiful, dude. She's so lovely. And as far as I knew, she also was like his classmate at this law school. So she had such an incredible future ahead of her. It's just, it's super sad. It's so screwed up that people, like someone like that, can take very clear issues that he has, like an issue that he has in himself, and like turn it into something totally unthinkable. Yeah. Anyway.
Forensic checklist. With respect to social vulnerabilities, the victim essentially had none. Lauren was outgoing and extremely popular. She was a well-liked member of her community and had a strong social support system. With relation to psychological vulnerabilities, the term perceptual naivety would potentially come to light during a forensic investigation. Stephen had asked her out on a date within 6 months of their acquaintance, which...
Look at them side by side. Like, look at her. She is so lovely. And that man, I pray every single day, is eating a goddamn rock in prison as his only source of nutrition. Like,
which was reportedly only the second time they had ever spoke. Lauren declined, but stated she would like to remain friends, which was only her being courteous and trying to soften the blow of rejection. She would later tell her actual friends that Stephen made her feel extremely uneasy and was uncomfortable to be around. It may have seemed like a non-essential observation at the time, but in hindsight, it appears that her instinctive senses were trying to tell her something. Lauren had told her friends multiple times that she felt someone had been inside her apartment, and she also started getting an eerie vibe when she came back alone, especially late at night. It was as though she could sense something wasn't right, and she even thought about moving multiple times, but unfortunately never went through with it. The reality was that Stephen McDaniel had stolen a master's key from a security guard and let himself into her apartment and looked around on several occasions.
That's terrifying. That is so terrifying. I feel like especially as women, we have those feelings all the time about like just feeling like unsettled. And like so often we have to take the craziest precautions to ensure that like we're not going to fall in any kind of danger. And I can only imagine for Lauren what that must have felt like her like having this feeling like she just was really unsettled in her home. But you always assume that, you know, maybe you're making things out to be a little bit too serious, a little bit too whatever. And I think it's interesting because especially as women, we have to take such crazy precautions in order to exist. First and foremost, in order to do literally anything, we have to be so hyper aware of our surroundings and about everything around us. And then you have the internet so often, quite frankly, gaslighting us and telling us that like you don't need to be worried, like nobody's following you around, or like you're asking for the attention or whatever. And it's like this man was her neighbor. This man was her neighbor. If I thought that somebody had been like getting into my house, if I thought that somebody had been like breaking in, or that like there was just a weird vibe, that's something I was going to mention earlier. My car was broken into recently, and everything's fine. It's fine, you know, no big deal. But like the first people I told were my neighbors. I was like, hey guys, did you see anything? And granted, my neighbors, both on each side, are the loveliest older ladies. I trust them with my freaking life. There are so often nights when I will send them a little text and be like, hey, if I maybe want to stay out for the night, could you let out my dogs? They're always just so nice to me. But it's just really, really sad because like you would think that your neighbors especially are like the people you can trust. She probably like, yes, knew this guy was like kind of, you know, into her or whatever. And maybe she found him a little bit weird, but like she never could have known what was to come. Anyway.
Also started filming her when she would leave and return to her apartment during all hours of the day. Had Lauren been in this situation before, or
also, his hairline sucks. I'll say it. His hairline sucks. And that's all.
And looked around on several occasions. He also started filming her when she would leave and return to her apartment during all hours of the day. Had Lauren been in this situation before, or even knew anyone that had, she may have trusted her intuition and unknowingly saved herself from a tragic fate. But that's the key word: trust. She had no proof of the danger she was in, only conviction, which unfortunately wasn't strong enough when it was most needed.
Well, oh God. Oh God. No. He recorded
Stephen McDaniels.
Home? He recorded her home like hours before he killed her? God, that's awful. But even just with like what JCS was just saying, and like I just watching the VOD, it's slanted. Oh, is it really noticeable? Oops. what I was gonna say is, like, I know JCS means, like, no harm by that, and, like, I think that he's right. Like, if Lauren had just maybe moved, it's possible, like, this may not have happened, but this is just, like, women cannot outrun things like this. And, like, I think, you know, I understand the reason why he said that, and, like, obviously this guy, like, does this for a living, has, like, so much respect for people. But, like, what are you gonna do? Like, leave every single time a guy is creepy to you? I don't know. Yeah. His hairline. His hairline's bad. His hairline is bad, and he deserves much worse than a shitty hairline, but, like, his hairline is bad. It's really bad.
Daniel snuck into Lauren's apartment once more, only this time she was sleeping inside. As he crept into her bedroom, she awoke and immediately panicked once she saw the intruder. McDaniel then pounced on top of her and proceeded to strangle her for roughly 15 minutes. Lauren put up a courageous fight and clawed at her attacker's face and chest, but she was eventually overpowered and died of asphyxiation. After the murder, Stephen dismembered Lauren's body in the bathtub with a hacksaw. He cut his victim into 5 pieces, placed each piece in a trash bag, and then disposed of each of them in separate trash cans around campus. 3 days later, Lauren's concerned friends would arrive at her apartment and let themselves in with a spare key. McDaniel would notice from his window and invited himself inside as he offered to help. All of her belongings were
invited himself inside? Wait a minute, when did this happen? Because I could have, yeah. It's in 2011, and I want to say that this said it was like, oh, it wasn't 2021. Okay, it was 2011. I thought it said like 2021 or something like that, and I was so confused. I was like, that is so recent. Oh my God, this guy was her neighbor. He was her neighbor. Oh my God, her friends were coming in. Her friends came into her apartment and he invited himself over. Ugh.
Still inside, including her cell phone, driver's license, and passport. A missing persons report was filed that night. A search party commenced the next morning, and police would discover the victim's torso at 9:40 a.m. It was placed in a trash can next to the apartment complex. The rest of the victim's remains were never recovered. The investigation was then switched from a missing person to murder. Police canvassed the surrounding area and began conducting interviews with neighbors and classmates, one of whom was Stephen McDaniel, but he was first interviewed by the local news, and at the time
he was interviewed by the news? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is so upsetting. That is so unsettling. This reminds me of, like, you know when, like, serial killers will, like, return to the scene of the crime and stuff like that? Like, who was it? I was just reading about somebody who returned to the area that they committed a crime with and literally saw police there and was like, can I help you search? Like, that's literally what this guy is doing. By throwing himself into the middle of all of this, he probably thinks he's going to, like, avoid any kind of suspicion, because why would he be involved? Why would he be involved if he's, like, trying to find her?
Time was unaware that part of the victim's remains had been discovered.
We're just trying to find out where she is at this point. I mean, no one has seen her since Saturday. I mean, the last time anyone heard from her was an email that she sent out, and I mean, no one's heard from her since.
What kind of person was she? I mean, what did you see?
I mean, she's as nice as can be. I mean, very personable, very much a people person.
Do you know anybody any enemies she might have had, somebody that might want to hurt her?
No, we just don't know where she is.
What about, in the, like...
He's saying we just don't know where she is. Like, he's, like, trying to make himself seem closer to her. Like, the delusion is so deep. That's the vibe that I'm getting anyway, because, like, he doesn't really, like, know her. You know what I mean? Like, they were friendly, but from everything that I can see, like, Stephen McDaniel did not really know Lauren. So it's just like eerie. It's like he's like spinning like the story that he almost wishes was real. You know what I mean? Yeah, like he's including himself in their friend group or something. When very clearly she did like not know this guy or like him.
The parking lot area, I know they've been doing a lot of, I think that's where they have recovered the body or whatever they recovered from there.
Body?
Had you seen anything there? Had you seen anything there? I mean, we don't know if this is the same person. You know what I mean? Like, they took out a body there earlier. We don't know if it's the same person or not. So that's why we're trying to ask people if they know who lived there. Are you okay, sir?
First and foremost, the way that reporter just dropped that mid-conversation is crazy. The way that that person was literally just like, yeah, and they found a body. Like, that's nuts. That would be a crazy thing to say to, like, anybody that you're interviewing. But the look on his face is like, it's not someone like, oh my God, my heart is broken. He like very much so knows that they found her.
I think I need to sit down.
Okay.
Oh,
This is most
shit.
likely a genuine reaction disguised as another. He is most likely feeling a sense of fear and shock over the fact a substantial piece of evidence has been discovered. Yet he plays it off as a feeling of sorrow over the loss of his supposed friend.
I don't know anyone that would want to hurt her. She was as nice a person as there is.
Oh, wow.
Was she moving soon? Did you know anything about her?
Yeah, she was going to be moving out today.
Wait, she was going to be moving out that day? She was going to be moving? Of course he murdered her. Like, oh my God, she was going to be leaving? She was going to be moving out and he like... Oh my God. He's also such a bad
Why would
actor.
anyone do this?
Oh dear God.
Maybe I could have helped. I mean, they went in, we looked around the place.
You look ugly and you're a bad liar.
No sign of struggle, no sign that anyone had broken in, just nothing.
He was interviewed by police at 11:50 a.m. and offered to help in any way he could, yet came across as fidgety and apprehensive the entire time. There were two highlighted moments of the interview. The first was when Stephen asserted that he was a virgin, saving himself for marriage. The second was when the detective discovered scratch marks on his face and stomach, which he asserted were done by himself in his sleep. He at that point...
Why did he feel the need to tell detectives that he was a virgin? What? Why would he need to, like, where would that have come up in comp? Maybe we're gonna see it in this interrogation, but why would that have just come up? And also, like, what? Like, that's what I'm saying, Jolene. How does it keep getting more insane? And why is this man just like saying things about himself that literally nobody needs to know? Hope he Thank you, Maple. That threw me so off guard. I thought that was going to be something other than it was, and it really, yeah. Yeah. I'm casual about mentioning my virgin status, but time and place. That's what I'm saying, though. Like, there is a time and place to talk about your sex life, period. Like, anyway. But maybe we'll get into, like, why he randomly disclosed that he was a virgin.
Unknowingly became the prime suspect and was asked if police could search his apartment. Stephen reluctantly accepted and was then transported back to the complex with 4 other investigators. While searching his apartment, they discovered a collection of swords, guns, toilet rolls, stockpiled provisions as if he was expecting an apocalyptic event, and a mask made out of women's underwear. The most significant discovery, however, was a pack of condoms. Stephen was asked why he would have such...
What? Wait. After he says he's a virgin? He says he's a virgin and then he has all of that in his... What? Why? Why would anyone have... Why?
Such an item in his possession if he was staying celibate before
That's
marriage,
what I
at which
just
point
said.
he miraculously confessed to stealing them from another apartment. This gave the detectives probable cause for arrest, and Stephen was placed in handcuffs and brought back to the police
What an
station. His interrogation
idiot.
began just after 11
What
p.m.
an idiot. What a stupid idiot.
All right. I just got to ask you a few more questions. You came down earlier tonight, me and you talked, all right. You don't have any weapons on you, do you?
Hey,
That's
Asta.
just you are. What's wrong? You know I'm Detective Patterson, right?
Yes.
Do you remember, put your hands up here, you remember us talking earlier tonight, right?
Yes.
You remember me earlier in the day?
Yes.
When we came down here and talked a little bit and then we left?
Yes.
Okay.
The monotone dialogue and lifeless demeanor you see here reportedly started on the drive back to the police station, and the suspect's conduct throughout the entire procedure is not only mystifying, but almost impressive. This is one of the most extraordinary pieces of interrogation footage to ever reach the public domain.
I need to know.
His personality is like night and day. Like, number one, this guy sucks, but like he was such a bad actor, like he was so bad in that interview that it's kind of crazy to hear him suddenly be like so quiet. And I have to imagine that it's because like the minute that he got into a police car, he realized like, oh shit, like I'm in trouble. But like it like the way he's talking is so weird. Like, yes. Like he sounds like he sounds sad in a weird way, but like good. I first and foremost like should be suffering, but it's just like, why are you sad out of nowhere? Like, what is there even to be sad about in the context of like the persona you're currently trying to play? Are you just sad you got arrested? Like, if you really are an innocent neighbor of this woman who is dead now, you would think that you would jump at any opportunity to not clear your name even. Like, that's not even the top priority, just to help. And he's sad. He's sad. He sounds real sad. Like a kid getting in trouble and they try to act sad so they don't get yelled at. Exactly, Jolene. Like, it's eerie. It's eerie.
About this girl right here. You know her?
Yes.
Who is that?
Lauren Giddings.
Does she live next door to you?
The captions are wrong here. I'd like to say that Lauren's name is Lauren Giddings. Giddings. Lauren Giddings is her name.
When's the last time you seen her?
2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Was you friends with Lauren?
Yes.
Look at me when you talk to me, son. Okay?
The suspect has morphed himself into this abnormal and extremely creepy character, whether it's a strategy or some sort of...
The way that this detective is talking to him too is like, and he's acting like a child, so I get it, but like he's talking to him like he's a freaking kid. This is a grown ass man. Like, this is a grown man. Like, don't call him son. This is a grown man who you think may have murdered somebody.
mental breakdown is unclear. But what's incredible is...
I'm wondering if he's on drugs. At this point, I think he would have been in custody for a while. In case maybe I'm mistaken, but they arrested him because they found all those condoms and like the weird, like the like mask made out of underwear and stuff in his apartment, and he said he stole them. So I think that they were able to arrest him on that. I like how the investigator is getting close. Me too. Like, get in his space. Get in his space.
Is that it somewhat dictates the pace of the interrogation. The detective has just closed the distance and commanded eye contact, both of which are recognized techniques to increase psychological pressure. Yet the absurdly haunting manner in which the suspect turns his head and fixes his gaze unnerves the detective to the point where he becomes the one to look away and reset his posture. This essentially never happens in interrogations, as it can give the suspect an incredible boost in confidence.
Look at me when you talk to me, son. Okay?
This happened in Georgia. He was prosecuted in Macon, Georgia.
Was you friends with her?
Yes.
Close friends?
We were good.
I mean, y'all were friends, right? Both of
Yes.
y'all are law students. You're studying to be an attorney, right?
Yes.
What kind of law do you want to go into? Criminal law?
Yes.
Is that what you want to do for a living?
Yes.
Okay.
The detective steps back from his initially
That's
aggressive
eerie.
strategy. He asks trivial questions for
That's
35
eerie.
seconds before attempting to ramp up the pressure in a more subtle manner.
And you've lived next to Lauren for a long time?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know where she's at tonight?
No.
Hmm?
No.
Have you ever seen her with that dress on?
No.
What is the strategy? What is this strategy? Have you seen her tonight? Like, I guess that they've only said that they found a body, not that they found her body. So maybe they're like keeping that part private, or maybe they don't even know it's her body yet. But like,
You have no idea where she's at?
No.
oh my God, the way he flew back because of the cut, I was like, this man fully just
Yes.
like, what is this phone call gonna be? I can't hear it.
Look. Just tell me what happened, brother.
I don't know.
Well, where's she at? I need you.
I don't know. Like,
I'm asking you for your help. I'm a detective, and I'm asking you for your help. Can you help me?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You can't help a friend out?
I don't know what you need.
I need to know where Lauren's at.
he's creeping me out so bad. He's creeping me out so bad.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know, do you?
Yes.
I guess JCS is just
What's up with
pointing
the pair
out.
of underwear that was in your apartment?
Asking the real questions, actually asking the actual questions. But I guess he was pointing out like their eye lines, and that like Stephen will not look away from the detective's eyes. But I don't think the detective's doing like a bad job or anything. Like, I think that I've watched some of these before, and I don't fully understand any of this. I also think that Stephen probably thinks he's a lot smarter than he is, and since he was studying to become like a criminal defense lawyer or like whatever, he thinks that he knows better, and like he'll just be able to like weasel his way out.
It was like a mask. It was cut out like a mask.
Yeah, why do you have a pair of
Cut
underwear as a
underwear out
mask?
that look like mask?
No.
Are you a knife collector or a knife person, or
No.
you just like knives?
Yeah, you have a lot of
I
them,
used to
dude.
collect swords.
I mean, do you know your swords?
Yes.
I mean, to sell and trade swords?
No.
Is that how Lauren looked with the long hair the last time you seen her?
Yes.
Or did she cut? That's how she looks.
Yes.
Why did they say that about her hair? Maybe she just cut it? Or did they know something?
I mean, earlier today, me and you sit here and talk normal. What's going on with you now? Why are you acting like this? I need to know. Why all of a sudden you're acting like this?
I don't understand.
Okay. Earlier today, we sat here and talked. But now you're acting like you don't know what's going on.
That's interesting, because they did say that things changed whenever he was like kind of like
Something happened or something to you?
in the back of the car. But that's got to be eerie as hell for the detective, too. Like, that he just, like, got so weird out of nowhere.
Why are you shutting down? Why are you not talking to me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
You don't know? Are you scared?
I don't know.
No.
He's creepy as hell.
You're not scared, are you?
No.
Yeah, what do you have to be scared
Stephen's
about?
demeanor doesn't waver for the
Frickin'
first 20 minutes, so the
loser.
detective eventually takes a more distinctly aggressive approach. He attacks the subject's character to see if it might coax him.
That's interesting. Anamorpha said, whoa, why did I suddenly get a vibe that he wanted to attack the cop? There does, like, I can kind of see that because he's, like, so scary calm, you know what I mean? They're probably so glad they got that baseline, though. That's so true, Teddy. I think that, yeah, they probably have a baseline for how this guy acts at this point, for sure. They have him on camera. Like, even if they had one combo with this man, they have him on camera being totally normal, completely normal. And now he's acting like that.
Him out of the act and into defending his dignity.
You got your ass on that fucking news. And
You
stood
tell
out
him.
there and gave a media report. That
What
her
did I
mother
just
saw
say?
about her missing daughter.
Oh, that her mom saw.
And you want me to sit there and tell him that you don't know? Is that what you want me to tell him? Because you're all over the news. You sure stood out there and ran your mouth to the news media. But now you're going to get out here and you don't fucking know. You know. You're just a sorry piece of shit that don't give a fuck. Right?
No.
Well, why'd you tell the media everything?
That detective. Go off. Actually, legitimately go off.
Do you need to see what you told the media today?
Yes.
It was on the 11 o'clock news. Well, I'm asking you. Tell me. I want to know.
I don't know where she is.
That ain't what you told the media. You didn't stand in front of that camera and say,
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I need you to tell me what you want me to tell her.
I
mother.
love this detective so
And I
much.
want to ask you another thing. I'm not going to tell her mother that you don't know, because her mother saw you on the news tonight, and she cried all the way down to Macon, because you had the balls to get on the news and tell everybody everything. So this little act that you're doing right now ain't working with me. Okay? So you need to snap out of it
Her
and tell me
poor
what the hell
mom.
happened, so we can move on.
I don't know.
Well, how many times you gonna say I don't know?
Yeah.
How many times you gonna say it? If you did something that you regret, you need to let me know.
I didn't.
Well, who did?
I don't know.
The way
Whether
that
it was
he's-
planned or not, the second detective enters
the way he stares at this guy, like, I don't know. Like, just staring into his eyes, I don't know. Like, whew, that is creepy as hell. That is spooky. And why does he not stop staring at him? That's what I'm saying. He's not blinking. He's not blinking. I also think that this detective knows better. Like, I think about a second detective is about to enter the room, and I was reading the comment section, and the second detective is apparently wild and just, like, says some crazy things on his own. But, like, this is crazy. This is, like, I feel like the detective has to know something. Like, he has to, like, I think that there has to be, like, a sixth sense that you have when you do this job, where you have to kind of, like, know when somebody's screwing around with you, you know?
the room with a similar strategy of immediate aggression. Rapport development seems to have been collectively thrown by the wayside.
What's up, buddy? You talk to him about his guns?
Yeah.
When was the last time you shot those guns? You've never shot a gun?
No.
Have you ever shot any gun in your whole life?
No.
Never.
Why do you have so many then? No, this man is not bold-faced lying, saying he's never shot a gun. What? What?
No.
So you bought 3 guns that you've never shot.
Yes.
Why?
To have.
For what?
To have?
To have.
For what? I'm asking for what? Why do you want to have them? What makes, did they give you, I mean, tell me why it's important to you to have 3 guns. That's an easy question.
It is an easy
Come on,
question.
talk to me, buddy. Me and you talked all day today. We ain't had a problem communicating. Why is it important for you to have 3 guns? Do you not know?
No.
You say you don't know what Lauren is, right?
Right.
You told me earlier you and Lauren were friends, right?
Yes.
How would you describe y'all's relationship?
She was my friend.
She was your friend. What did you ever do things for her? Did she ever do things?
I've never hit anyone in my entire life, and I want to sucker punch this man across the face. I don't know how anybody does this. Oh my God. This piece of absolute... there's like not a word bad enough. There's not a word bad enough. He sucks. He sucks so
What did she ever do for
bad.
you?
We talked.
Describe your relationship. She was my friend. We were friends. What did you talk about? What did you talk about? What did you have conversations about? Can you imagine talking about any single one of your friends and someone was like, well, like, what is your relationship with your friend like? Like, what is your relationship like? And like, you would be like, well, we go to the coffee shop together and like once a week we do this and like we're walking buddies and we text sometimes about this and this and this. Like, when you're friends with somebody, you know what kind of relationship you have with them. And he doesn't know because they weren't friends. Because he was a creep. Like, what was your relationship like? She was probably running the other way from this guy all the time because he seems like such a freaking loser. He just seems like such a creep.
What y'all talk about?
News.
The news?
The news.
Okay. How many times have you
Y'all
been
talking about the
hanging
news?
out?
Oh, the first detective's leaving. How many times have
You don't know? If you had to guess, what was your, I mean, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, what?
Maybe
Just
2.
nothing.
Maybe 2? See, if I had only been somewhere twice, I could remember that. If I had been there over 50 times and you asked me how many times I've been, like, I don't know, a lot. But the fact that you've only been there twice, when I say how many times you've been there, you say you don't know, that's just odd to me.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense to you?
It's like a little kid.
Yes.
That
It's like
does
a
make-
little kid, like, oh, how did this cookie get out of the jar? Did you take the cookie out of the jar? I don't know. How did it get out of the jar? I don't know. Like, I don't blame the first detective either that he probably needed a break, because when he got really pissed at that guy, like, I could like feel that, and the silence is really loud. It has to be so frustrating.
So what I'm
So
saying right now makes
frustrating.
sense.
No.
Lauren's missing. This pretty little girl right here, your neighbor, she's missing.
Much like Detective 1, Detective 2 now valiantly moves in for the psychological charge.
Yeah.
He closes the distance and locks eye contact. His physical demeanor, alongside a prolonged gaze, will hopefully crack the suspect's fortified barrier. Once broken, the momentum will commence and the suspect will be more likely to divulge incriminating information. All the detective has to do is maintain eye contact for longer than his adversary. It's a psychological battle of attrition between two opposing forces, and these moments can sometimes last for minutes on end.
I know.
Yeah, he when he was like, when he called her like a pretty little thing, or like whatever he called her, I was kind of like, oh, like it felt a little weird, but like he's talking about her probably the way that this guy thinks about her. Like it's fascinating, but I do appreciate that they're not giving him his personal space in any regard.
Me and you both know it's no different than when you was a little kid, right? And you reached in that cookie jar and you got caught after your mama told you not to.
What the hell? Oh my god, that's so weird. That is 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 so weird. Oh my god, that's so weird. What does it mean? What does it mean? I'm so uncomfortable. I'm so uncomfortable. What the? That's so weird. That is so weird. I mean, maybe it's just like that accurate. Maybe it's that accurate of a call out. Bye. I am becoming a criminal psychology major. That's nuts. That is crazy. I don't know if that was a psychic moment or just like a really good prediction, but
Get that cookie. When she was, did you get a cookie? No. And whenever you tell a lie, you feel bad about it right then. One,
that's so
every
weird.
lie is a chance you're gonna get caught. And that weighs on you. Because you know you did something bad. Am I right?
I didn't do it.
You didn't take the cookie?
No.
You smell like you've been cleaning up, like you've been using cleaner to clean up. I know what that smells like. My wife smells like that all the time when she cleans the house. You've been using some kind of cleaner to clean up your apartment, hadn't you?
No.
Steven, you telling me you live like a man? How does your apartment get cleaned?
Sorry, the cookie thing was just crazy because I just said it. I literally just said it. That's crazy. I love that now he's like, why do you smell like apartment cleaner? Steven, why do you smell like apartment cleaner, Steven? You've been cleaning your apartment? Anyway.
I cleaned it.
When was the last time you cleaned it, Steven?
I don't remember.
Was it this week?
No.
You mean you go a whole week without cleaning?
Yes.
Why? That's horrible, Steven.
Say ever, literally ever. That's horrible, Steven. Like, yes, roast him, literally roast him. That was the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. That was so funny.
Was it this week?
No.
You mean you go a whole week without cleaning?
Yes.
Why? That's horrible, Steven.
That is
I don't know
so
how else
funny.
to say it, Steven. Let me tell you what I think.
Tell him.
I think that she was a friend of yours. Look at her right here. I think that she was a friend of yours. And I think something happened, Steven.
That's horrible, Steven. You freaking creep.
You used to watch her come in and out of her apartment, didn't you?
Oh, the way though, I was focused on that's
watch
horrible, Stephen, but like the way he's like actually looking at the photo now.
Come in and out of her apartment, didn't you?
The way he slow pan looks over like that is crazy. It's like, yeah, that guy fully knew that, yes, Stephen was watching Lauren go in and out of her apartment. Like, he fully, like, the way he looks over is eerie. No? Yes, you did. You freak. Is Detective 1 back?
Y'all doing?
We're just talking. See that pretty girl right there?
Oh, she's gone again.
Yes.
Or he's gone again.
You telling me you looked at a pretty girl like that and you never once thought, ever, man, she looks good. You never thought that?
How did we reach this point?
What do you mean you don't understand? You know how when you're sitting there you see a girl walking down the road? And you say, man, that girl looks good. You ever see a good looking girl down the road, you think to yourself, man, that girl looks good?
Yes.
You never thought that about her?
Yes.
So you mean to tell me you look at porn on the internet and get off to that, but you never looked at her and said, man, I wonder what it'd be like to have sex with her?
Yes.
You have?
No.
Stephen, this is hard, buddy. I know this is hard. And
The way he's grabbing him, sorry, that was just funny. This is hard, buddy. And then grabbing his shoulder like that. Like, again, glad that he's not getting any kind of, like, personal space, I guess. Like, if they have to intimidate him like this, then fine. But, like, that, it was just, it felt so inauthentic, I guess, watching it. Like, I think he's trying to play good cop right now, but it's just not really translating. Like, I think that detective was a lot better when he was just, like, roasting the hell out of Stephen. Like, go back to please, like, telling this man why he's gross. Go back to telling him why he's nasty for not cleaning his home.
Tell us on you want to let it go. There's blood in your apartment, Stephen. You didn't get it all up.
This is the widely recognized futility technique, which is used to make the subject believe it is useless to resist due to the overwhelming evidence against them. It's most effective when the interrogator can play on doubts that already exist in the subject's mind. The only problem here is that Stephen didn't dismember Lauren inside his apartment. It all happened in Lauren's apartment, so the detective's bluff is already called at this point.
It didn't all come off. You scrubbed and you wiped. But we can tell that. Don't you watch CSI?
Don't you watch CSI?
Yeah, we know it.
That sucks because that would have been such a stronger statement. Like, if the facts weren't skewed there. That's horrible, Stephen. Like, that would have been such a stronger, like, moment, I think, in the case. But sorry, I was taking a second to read. That's horrible, Stephen. God, I cannot stand this guy. I cannot stand him. Like, I know the way he's maintaining eye contact is so eerie. I don't know how anyone does that, dude. Like, I don't know how people do that. Like, it's got to be so deeply uncomfortable. It sucks that bluff didn't work out for the detective. Oh, but this detective is still my favorite thing. There's a reason why we're watching him specifically here. Like, I don't know. Hecate, don't call me out. Me making sure you don't see my desktop again. Like, there's a reason we're watching him. I have to imagine that he's gonna pull the confession, or, you know, maybe we'll see it here in this video, maybe not. I really don't know how this one works because I didn't really watch them. Although I will tell you guys that for next time, I'm gonna look into the cases a bit more so that I can give an appropriate, like, content warning at the beginning, so I'm not, like, blindly throwing anyone in. Because the beginning of this one was so much more explicit than I guess I was, you know, expecting. But anyway. Back to this gross freaking man.
Stephen,
The way he
why
says
is
his
there
name.
blood in your bathroom?
Great question.
The
but
detective
there's
now
unfortunately
completely
not.
shifts his strategy from confrontational and aggressive to sympathetic and understanding. He attempts to create a connection and then afford Stephen a more socially acceptable reason for the crime. This is extremely difficult to pull off after a direct confrontation, as there is no established rapport nor trust. The usual routine is the exact opposite. You would first build rapport and then get aggressive once a connection has been attained.
I wanted to give you an opportunity to tell it. I wanted to be here with you to go through that process because I know you're not a monster, man. I know you're not a bad guy.
That's a phenomenal. That is a phenomenal twist to that. Being like, I know you're not a bad guy. I know there has to be a reason for this. I just wanted to be with you while you went through this. I didn't want to abandon you. Like, I think that that's such a good tactic.
You're just a hard-working student trying to pass a bar exam, ain't you? You ain't got a lot of support from your family, do you?
Yes.
You do?
The strategy fails at the first hurdle. Stephen immediately shuts down the afforded sympathy and reasoning behind the alleged crime, which was the concept of unsupportive parents. But the detective now attempts to roll with it.
A lot of people can't say that. And the fact that you do have support from your family should make things easier, because your family wants to feel like they've raised somebody that tells the truth and is honest, right?
Yes.
Did you hurt that girl, Stephen?
No.
Have you ever hurt anyone, Stephen?
No.
You've never hurt anyone.
No.
I've hurt people, Stephen. I've made mistakes in my life.
Is this detective about to start sorry, it was just the way he said it. I was like, are you about to start confessing to your own crime?
Not even normal to say you've never hurt anybody.
But that is true. Yeah.
Sometimes people get mad and they say things they don't mean to say. It hurts. You never kicked a dog or a cat?
The lead detective then asks,
You ain't never kicked a dog or a cat?
You never kicked a dog or a cat?
What? Are you doing that? What the hell? This is... Okay. God dang it, red shirt.
the
I was
lead
rooting for
detective
you.
then asks non-confrontational...
Maybe he was actually just asking that because he thought that maybe Stephen would be like, yeah, like maybe he didn't mean it that way, like, because you know how like serial killers will like hurt animals and stuff like that. Maybe he thought it was something like that. Yeah, it's a tactic. You're right. That means that makes a lot of sense that would have been on purpose. But that threw me for such a loop.
questions for almost 30 minutes, which is most likely to see if it will change the suspect's demeanor and the manner in which he responds. But it doesn't. Stephen maintains...
He's trying to make horrible things sound normal. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense as a tactic. I've really haven't like watched one of these before, so that means a lot of sense, like on accident or something. But that makes a lot of sense that he's kind of like trying to like normalize it as opposed to being like, yeah, I do that. Like I kick dogs. Like I think it's just because I'm such a stan of Red Shirt Detective at this point that my sense of everything was thrown right out the window, and I was like, oh no, is he a bad person? I love you, Sophia. Thanks for being here. It's a good tactic, Whitney. That's true. It was a really, now that like you guys are telling me about it, like I think it was a really smart thing to do.
the same lifeless disposition which he has now kept up for almost 90 minutes.
You know what's crazy? I was talking to people that he works with and everything. They talk about how he's always expresses himself.
But he don't know.
He's very talkative. Stephen, they say you're so talkative, buddy, that you're always so friendly. You stop in and say hello, and you talk. Why is it that you're acting so short with us tonight? If you have all this character and personality about you, why is it that everything that we get from you is yes, no, or I don't know?
Ew,
Why are you acting like this, Steve?
That's what I'm saying. Why are you looking at him like that?
See how I'm able to talk in complete sentences?
This guy's such
We're
a
having a conversation,
bad actor.
but the only thing you're bringing to the table is a yes, no, or I don't know. Stephen, did you hurt that girl?
No.
Would you tell me if you did?
Yes.
Have you lied to me at all in this interview?
No.
Yes, you have, Stephen. When was the last time you did laundry?
A few weeks ago.
You ain't washed clothes in a few weeks?
Yeah.
Why?
I haven't.
I love that this guy has just started aggressively roasting this man for his lack of hygiene. Like, I don't know why, but that's just, I know that there's a reason for it. It's just so funny. Like, it's so funny to hear. Oh my God.
A lot of clothes.
No, you don't. That's another lie. You don't have a lot of clothes.
That's interesting.
No. You got enough underwear to last you 3 weeks.
Yes.
Do you wear the same pair of underwear more than one day?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's still clean enough to wear.
This line of questioning, I was going to say, I definitely have enough underwear to last me 3 weeks, and I've definitely not done my laundry for 3 weeks, but I understand what he's doing, and by making this guy feel like, it's interesting because to me, it sounds like he's like trying to make him feel like gross and icky, and like he's just getting like roasted all to hell. Stephen, are you afraid of cleanliness? That's so real. That's horrible, Stephen. Stephen, that's horrible. The way he said that is still, but it's just so interesting. But he is gross. He is gross. Like, he is gross. However, I love that part of it is actively making him feel gross. Phantom Jellyfish, thank you so much for joining the channel memberships. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate you. I hope you enjoy your stay here.
Where's that little girl, Stephen?
Ugh.
Stephen, you know. You gonna look at this right here?
It's interesting.
Where?
Listen to this.
Where's that little girl, Stephen?
No.
It's still clean enough to wear.
Where's that little girl, Stephen?
We fast forward from that moment where he's saying, like, why the hell are you wearing your underwear multiple days in a row? 4 minutes later is when he's like, where is she? Like, where is Lauren? And I think it's like, I understand why they're not playing the in-between, but it's interesting. Because it's like, what is the detective actively doing? Like, what is he trying? Like, yes, he's roasting the guy. I'm giggling and tee-heeing because this guy is disgusting and deserves to be roasted. However, like, what is the tactic here? Are you just trying to, like, break him down? Are you trying to embarrass him? Are you trying, like, that's what I guess I would assume it would be. That he's trying to, like, kind of break down his ego and his sense of self and just be like, you are a gross man. You are nasty and also a murderer. Like, maybe, like, I think, like, right now, oh, hold on. Wait. Oh my God, the rain is so loud. Oh my God, that's so loud. It just started like, I thought like something was in my kitchen. Oh, it's bucketing out there. Wow, it is raining so hard. Anyway, but I have to assume that's what he's doing, is just try to get like any reaction. You have to switch between tactics at random to catch the person off guard. I think he's trying to throw him off guard and break that mask by confusing. I completely agree.
Yeah. Stephen, you know.
Can you hear that? Okay, if my stream cuts out, it's because the rain here just started pouring. So, oh, Kate mentioned her power was flickering earlier. Keep your fingers crossed for me, but if it goes out, that's why. I have everything plugged into a surge protector, so I should be okay.
You gonna look at this right here, this little girl right here?
Muse, thank you so much for the gifty. I appreciate that so much. That is incredibly generous. Hecate got the membership. Congratulations, Honeybee. And thank you so much, Muse, for that gifted. That was so sweet of you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. The rain in the background does make it feel so cozy. That's kind of like, that was sort of the vibe I wanted for tonight's stream. That, oh, there's the notification. I wanted it to be like a cozy, I know, Muse, that's the only bummer. You can't choose whoever you gift to on YouTube. I hope that, like, they change that at some point. Because I feel the same way. Like, I'd like to gift to people individually, but even I, like, it doesn't let me do it. Or if it does, I haven't figured out how. So, ooh, sorry. My left eye has been kind of dry over the last 2 days. I might need to do eye drops or something. Anyway. Cozy murder night. Yeah, no, I can't even choose. It's really weird. It's one thing that they don't have on Twitch. Kermit, didn't I do it for you? I had, Emma has one of those Kermit the Frog, like, puppets, where you, like, put your hand in it and you can, like, use it as a puppet. And I sat on her couch the other night, maybe a little bit high, and I was just like, didn't I do it for you? And then she had friends come over, and I was just, like, doing, like, they came to the door, and I went to answer the door, and I was like, why don't I do it for you? That's just all I did. Anyway. Good morning to those of you who just woke up. Good morning, Tarzart, for school. I'm so sorry. Happy birthday, I'm bored. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Anyone else see that orb? I hope it's just dust. Oh, my eye is dry. Whew. Anyway.
And you're going to say you don't know? I know you know.
I don't.
Yes, you know. What are you going to say tomorrow when I say we got your hair? What are you going to say to me then?
Maple, thank you so much for joining the channel memberships, my sweet. Welcome, welcome. You are simply the sweetest in the world. You are the best. I like to think that it was my serenading. Like, I like to think that after I was like, didn't I do it for you? That was what made you decide to join Muse. Thank you so much for joining the channel memberships. Do I have to start? Didn't I do it for you? I'm fine. Kermie. Anyway, gifted before I was even a member myself. Thank you so much for joining, Muse. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. Okay.
Because, you know, like I go like that. Look at my hair. That's how easy it falls out. Look at all that on your head. You don't think none fell out? It
That's
did.
so real.
As we know, Stephen went inside Lauren's apartment with her friends 3 days after she was already deceased. This would give reason for his DNA being found at the scene, and would essentially nullify its use as damnatory evidence. Stephen, being a law student, would be well aware of this.
We just wanted to give you an opportunity to tell it, so you didn't look like a monster at the end. Because you know what? I don't believe that you're a monster, Stephen. I believe that you're a good guy. You've been picked on. Girls didn't show you the respect that you deserved. You did something stupid. And I believe you feel bad about it.
Girls didn't show you the respect that you deserved, Stephen. Girls didn't pay any attention to you. Like, I understand why he did that, but it makes me so mad. It makes me so mad. It makes me so mad! Grr. That makes me so mad! It makes me so mad. I know it's a tactic. And honestly, this detective is killing it. But, like... Stephen has the same energy as discarded toenail clippings. No tail. Oh my god. Oh my god. I just missed a comment. Jasmine said, "Get some eye drops, girl. My contacts feel dry now. Love you, Loey. You've been a day one fan. I'm a psychic medium and you're an angel. Happy New Year." I love you so much. That was just such a nice comment to get in the middle of this. Thank you so much. I love you too. You're an angel. Anyway, okay.
And that's why you're all freaked out right now. But I'm giving you the opportunity to get right. I'm giving you an opportunity to show everybody you're not a monster, that you feel bad about what happened. Your hair's there, man.
Oop.
Your hair is
I
there.
can turn that down.
That's right, buddy. See that? Look at it. See how easy? See this stuff right here, your hair? Yeah, it fell out of your head when you was moving the body, Stephen. That's right. You remember moving the body?
No.
Yes, you do, Stephen. Why, man? Why?
It's
Tell
interesting.
me, bud.
It's interesting because if they had enough circumstantial evidence, or if they had enough evidence to convict this guy, they wouldn't like need a confession out of him. Like they wouldn't need to be like sitting here like pressing him. So it's like they probably do actually need him to confess or do something. However, like it is just like the way that he's talking makes it seem like they already know. Maybe they're just like really sure. I don't know. Knowing the guy is guilty, it's all worth it, but this is kind of interrogation could become very exhausting if innocent. You can see where someone who isn't smart could false confessions. And that's like a massive problem. It's a huge problem that like the interrogation process can be so brutal for some people. Red shirt, we know you didn't barrel scratching. Use head and shoulders, my man. Y'all are funny as hell. You guys are so funny. But on like a more serious note, like they have to be pulling this out of him because they need it. And they need to know where the rest of her body is. That's honestly true. If they had found part of a body, but not the entire thing, or if they hadn't been able to identify it as her yet, they're probably just hoping he'll crack.
Yes, you did, Stephen. We want you to tell it so that way people understand you're not a monster. Things just, you got out of control. It's a sickness. Why'd you do it, Stephen?
I didn't do it.
Stephen, why are you going to keep telling that? You hurt that girl.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did, Stephen. You hurt her, man. She was screaming. Screaming, Stephen. Why? And I know you feel bad about it. I can see it in your face. What came over you, man?
Mm-hmm.
What happened, Stephen?
I don't know.
I know you don't know. You couldn't control it, could you?
Do it.
Stephen! They steal your hair and take it over there? They didn't, did they? That's right. It's all sinking in right now. He knows, is what you're thinking. Stephen, I don't want it to be a game between me and you. I know it hurts, and I know you're not an awful person and you want to tell it. Your hair was there, Stephen. We've all known it all along. We wanted just to give you an opportunity to tell what happened. Did y'all have sex?
No.
Did you try to have sex?
No.
Think about having sex?
No.
Liar. What kind of man doesn't think about having sex?
This guy,
You said earlier you like girls, right?
this guy is good. This guy is really good. This interrogator, like, I was like giggling and, you know, like earlier, but like once he kind of like gets on the roll, I'm like astounded. I'm astounded. He's really good. Like, I feel like nothing has really changed, and yet, like, something actually feels like it kind of has. Like, I feel like, and maybe it's just because we're getting close to the end of the video, but, like, I feel like an innocent person wouldn't sit this calmly for this long, though. Like, it's so unemotional. Yeah.
Yes.
You said she's a pretty girl, right?
Yes.
What'd you do to her, Stephen?
I didn't do anything.
You're lying. You hurt that girl.
No, I didn't.
Sure it did, and that's why you're having this massive meltdown right now.
The detective quite
Excuse me, oh my
literally
God.
repeats the phrase, "You hurt that girl," to which Stephen responds, "No, I didn't," and this goes on for the best part of 20 minutes. Perhaps the detective's strategy was to induce mental exhaustion, yet it had no effect whatsoever.
Why
That
did you
makes
hurt
sense.
that girl?
I didn't.
Why'd you hurt her, Stephen?
I didn't.
You hurt her, Stephen.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you
Oh. Did you hear his voice crack there, though? Did you hear his voice?
did. You hurt her, Stephen.
No, I didn't.
Oh, shit. Oh my God, his voice finally cracks there. That's the first, like, maybe it's just exhaustion, but that's like the first, like, other than like stoic, I don't know. I didn't do it. Like, that's the first time I've seen even an ounce of emotion.
Yeah, you did.
He's getting tired. That
Take
makes
this from me. You
sense.
don't deserve to look at it.
Oh, wow.
Stay right here, okay?
That's really good. That's really good.
I appreciate all your cooperation tonight, okay?
Okay.
He's just like staring at the door. I bet it's interesting that he can't, I mean, it makes sense why he can't like break that character even when the detectives leave the room, because like there's very clearly a camera on him and he knows that, but like it's crazy to watch. Excuse me. He probably knows these tactics because of law school, honestly. I completely agree.
I just need to discuss a few more things with you.
The lead detective now abandons the pursuit of any sort of admission. He instead proceeds to belittle and humiliate the suspect as much as possible. It may have a tactical purpose, but it's more likely out of frustration, alongside the fact he is certain of the suspect's culpability.
Where I know earlier today you told me you stayed home all weekend, right? In your apartment.
Yes.
Did anybody see you? Did you talk to anybody over the weekend? Were you on your computer all weekend? Is there anything I can look at that I can say he couldn't be involved because he was on the computer, or he was online on a porn site, or he was online doing college work, or anything that would exclude you as being involved altogether? I mean, did anybody see you this weekend at the house? Did you go out to get a newspaper? Did you wave to a neighbor, or you just locked yourself in all week?
Yes.
Nobody saw you?
No.
I mean, what do you just stay in the house all day?
Yes.
I mean, what do you do all day in the house? I mean, you've always done that your whole life? You don't have no friends?
I have
How can you go
friends.
your whole life without a friend?
I have friends.
Where they at? Where they at? You have any friends here in Macon?
Yes.
Name one, because everybody I talked to said they ain't your friend.
Ryan
Ooh.
Granger, Cass Lawson, Ashley Morehouse, Carmen Love.
That's the same people I talked to today, and they're not your friend. Okay?
That's really good. That's
One of the
really
reasons
good.
interrogations are so fascinating is the ethical vacuum it creates for everyone inside its bubble. In any other circumstance, the detective's behavior here would be considered cruel and reprehensible. He's essentially bullying the suspect, yet the empathy we would normally have is now stripped away through the impression of retribution. We know this person has done something horrific, and the treatment he is now receiving is merited through his own actions.
We're not your friend. I mean, it's all over anyways. I just want to know what was going on tonight. The game's over. I mean, we know what you did to her, so we just want to know if you were going to tell us or not.
I didn't do anything.
Well, that's what you say.
Yeah.
But we know different. So you're fucked either way. You're fucked.
Hell yeah.
We already know.
Yeah.
We know you killed her. We know you put her body in the trash can. News media knows it. Glenda knows it. Your mother. Your sister knows it. Your sister's husband knows it.
God, that's sad. God, that's sad. Like, so many of you are pointing out that, like, when the detective was like, you don't have any friends. You don't have any friends. The people you say are your friends aren't your friends. He did not move, did not budge, didn't really care. Didn't move, didn't fidget, nothing. Just stoic. But that detective is so tired. I completely agree. He looks exhausted. Like, the way, I think he's, like, actually losing his temper. Maybe not. Maybe this is all a tactic, but bringing up his family is smart. Bringing up his family and the shame and, like, the like, his poor mother. Oh my God. This guy is such a creep, dude. And it makes me so sad to think that, like, Lauren knew something was going on around her home. She knew that, like, when she was home, something wasn't quite right. She knew that, like, when Lauren is the victim in this case, by the way, in case you're just joining, but, like, this guy Stephen murdered his neighbor. And, like, it makes me so sad that, like, she felt these things, felt this, like, uncertainty, felt so uncomfortable, and he was next door. This absolute creep, this freaking creepy guy was next door. And I just feel so bad for her. I'm opening up my LaCroix, but I don't know. Limoncello LaCroix. Best flavor. Best flavor there is. But yeah, Stephen was stalking her and then eventually killed her, and they went to law school together.
I used to beat your sister.
Oh my God.
You know what he said? He said he's a crazy motherfucker is what he said when I called him.
Oh God.
That's your own family calling you crazy. Nobody wants to see you. Nobody's coming to visit you. So you can sit there with that dumb look on your face. But it's over.
No emotion. Nothing.
The entire interrogation took over 2 hours. When sped up by 20,000%, you truly get a glimpse of how remarkable the suspect's catatonic performance was.
Yeah. I mean, just stoic. Like, did not budge the way, like, did not slump. Just stayed like that. Stayed so still. It's eerie to watch. It's so crazy to watch this footage. Because he did not move. Not one bit. Wow.
His mother came to speak with him soon after this moment, and although he maintained his innocence, he immediately snapped out of a zombie-like character. It's difficult to interpret the reasoning behind the performance. Whether it was a pre-planned strategy, improvised in the moment, or some type of psychological breakdown is unclear. But whatever it was, it evidently seemed to work, as the interrogators got nothing. The suspect's behavior was so abnormal, they were essentially at a loss with what to do, or where to even start with a specific plan of attack. The evidence, however, was irrefutable. Hundreds of pictures of Lauren were discovered on Stephen's flash drive, along with multiple video recordings of inside her apartment. A hacksaw was found in a supply closet of the apartment complex, and it was marked red with what was later identified as Lauren's blood through DNA testing.
God.
The packaging for the exact same hacksaw was found in Stephen's apartment. When confronted with the evidence, he took a plea deal to avoid the death penalty and was rendered a life sentence without the possibility of parole. He is currently being held at the high-security Hancock State Prison in Sparta, Georgia.
I know where Sparta is. I used to drive.
Good to be back. Hope you're doing well. This is the 6th and final installment of my Stephen McDaniels commentary. Man, it's been a slog. We are deep in the troll vortex of insanity. I don't think anyone's gone this far. It's like cave diving, but a lot more dangerous.
Oh, maybe that was just
incredibly long road.
The guy. Maybe that was just a reference for JCS's video. Because that video is like linked in the description box. Wow, I would have given anything. I would have given literally anything to see the way that Stephen acted when his mom came in the room. I wanted to see if there were any others. Man. There's this one other from the Long Crime Network, and I'm going to see if they have the moment when his mother comes in the room. No, doesn't look like they have it. It's just the full interrogation, like the full 2 hours. Man. He was just like fully disassociated. The entire time, he was just fully dissociated. Like, he somehow like fully took himself out of his own skin, like his own body. That is crazy. I wasn't satisfied with how that case ended, TBH. Well, it seems as though, so to get into the schematics of it, is that the right word here? I don't know. So I'm reading from the Wikipedia page, but Lauren went missing, or was reported missing, June 30th, and her torso was subsequently discovered. That day, Stephen did that interview with WGXA, claiming to be a concerned friend of Lauren's. During the interview, he learned that the torso had been recovered. On July 1st, he went voluntarily to the police office to give a statement about her. His interrogation subsequently lasted 12 hours, and his apartment was searched. And I think that was before the interrogation that we saw. He was placed in jail on July 2nd, where he would remain for the next month. In August, he was charged with murder. Investigators had linked several pieces of evidence to him, including the hacksaw he used to dismember the body. In 2014, he accepted a plea deal and pleaded guilty to murder. His deal required him to describe his account of the murder. So he actually had to... So in order to accept that deal, in order to avoid the death penalty, he had to describe the murder. Oh my God, this gets crazy. Holy cow. Oh my God. Okay. So he had to describe the murder. He had to actively admit to it and describe it to avoid the death penalty. The judge also dismissed additional charges discovered during the investigation, including one count of burglary, which I think we already learned about that he randomly was like, oh, the window, by the way, for anyone who sees it, that's just my neighbor's light that goes on and off. It's like a motion censored thing, and there's like a million raccoons and stray cats and stuff like that around here. So we knew about the burglary. The judge also dismissed 30 counts of sexual exploitation of children. The judge excused 30 counts of sexual exploitation of minors. Stephen is eligible for parole in 2041. And then in 2018, his father, Mark McDaniel, started a GoFundMe campaign to raise funds for legal expenses needed for an appeal. His father started a GoFundMe and was like, yeah, we need to appeal this case. So then Stephen represented himself in court while arguing for a retrial in 2018. He stated that his constitutional rights were violated as he was not medically cleared before giving consent for searches. His legal research was intercepted by the district attorney, and his attorneys did not adequately represent him. He also filed a malpractice complaint against his former attorney, and the judge denied the appeal. On May 30th of last year, another habeas corpus, which I guess is a recourse in law through which a person can report an unlawful detention or imprisonment to the court. So if the detention is unlawful, whatever. So a petition saying like, hey, I was unlawfully imprisoned was filed by Stephen, claiming documents from the defense trial preparations were stolen from the district attorney. In his petition, he requested that his conviction be overturned and he be released for prison. Man, dude. I'm going to read a little bit about Lauren here now that we've talked about Stephen for so long. This article is from WGXA, which I think was the same place that had Stephen's interrogation, or not interrogation, but like the interview or whatever. June 26th of 2021 marked 10 years since Lauren Giddings, a Mercer law student, was brutally murdered by her neighbor Stephen McDaniel. And her sister, Sarah Raybould, says it's hard not to think about. This is something Lauren should be here for. We still picture her as a 27-year-old woman. To think about her being 37 now, it's just crazy to try to think about where she would be. And this is from her other sister, Caitlin Wheeler. Lauren was the first person in her family to go to college. When she decided to come to Macon for law school, her family was, of course, hopeful. And the weeks leading up to her death, she received her law degree. That summer of 2011, she was vigorously studying for the bar exam. Next, she planned to start a career as a defense attorney. Oh, my God. And so her sister, Caitlin, was apparently married in June of that summer in their home state of Maryland. Lauren attended the wedding and then went back to her Macon apartment to study. So I think that was the last time, maybe, that her family had seen her. She had already told her family and friends that since she'd been home for the wedding, she had decided to unplug from distractions, basically, during the studying for the bar exam, so she wouldn't really be interrupted and she could get into a good flow. She'd already told family and friends that since she'd been home for the wedding, which was a really long break, most people who are taking the bar don't do anything like that. So from now, she would be like nonstop studying. And then by June 27th of 2011, everyone who knew Lauren stopped hearing from her. Everyone guessed she was studying like she told her family she would be, but days went by with no word for her. And then June 29th was when people realized she was missing. Man. That is literally crazy. Wow. Caitlin named her daughter Lauren in her sister's memory. Her sister says she had this passion for life that a lot of people don't have. I think she lived more in those 27 years than most people do. And to this day, outside of her torso, her remains have never been uncovered. What a beautiful person. Like, what an absolutely just gorgeous human being who deserved so much better than that from that absolute creep. Fuck you, Stephen. You suck. Look at how pretty she is. Hold on. The cutest in the world, actually. Prettiest ever, methinks. Sweet girl. Poor thing. That is so sad. That is so sad. Y'all remember he was studying law too, so he's got at least a little knowledge of how the system works and what he could potentially use to appeal his case. That's so true. That is so true. He can admit and go into detail about the crime, but he won't say where she is. That's also just like, what are you doing at that point, dude? Like, do you actively like want her family to hurt? Like, I think the answer is yes. Oh, here's the GoFundMe. Apparently, Justice for Stephen McDaniel. GoFundMe page. Oh my God, what is my computer doing? GoFundMe page seeking justice for confessed killer gets removed. Justice for Stephen McDaniel. The father of a confessed killer who was sentenced to life in prison for the murder and dismemberment of his next-door neighbor created a GoFundMe page seeking justice for him in the form of an appeal. Stephen has been separated from his family for the last 7 years. Yeah, he killed a woman who doesn't get to be alive anymore. Yeah, your son was your son is separated from his family. That's really true. He murdered a woman, took away her entire life, and took her away from her family and friends who loved her. Like, what? What? He lost three grandparents and was deprived of the privilege of seeing and being a part of his brother and sister's lives, it said, noting how admitted murderer Stephen McDaniel has been behind bars since his 2011 arrest. Stephen Sapp wasn't even able to raise a singular penny before the GoFundMe was taken down. And Lauren's sister, Caitlin, said pathetic and delusional would be the right words here. Wow. Holy cow, dude. Well, screw Stephen. We hate him. Yeah, he stole a beautiful woman's life, and what are they talking about? What a joke. Like, good. I'm so glad that he gets to rot in prison. It's almost, yeah, it is like the dad doesn't understand what murder means. It's like the dad doesn't understand that once you, I don't know, kill somebody, maybe you deserve to rot in prison. Like, maybe, I just heard the craziest sound. I don't know what that was. It sounded like somebody like, oh, it's the dogs. They're probably getting kind of antsy. Actually, it's about an hour past their normal feeding time, so I'm probably going to hop off here and go feed them. But I just wanted to, like, watch that with you guys, look at that with you guys. If my son's a murderer, I'm disowning you. That is not okay. Yeah, my kid kills anybody and they're dead to me. Like, my kid kills anybody and my kid does anything like that, like takes away another human's life. Like, I just... How do you as a parent stand by your child? Like, how do you stand by your child? Like, I think that says a lot about you. Weird. I don't know if I want to know more about his dad. That's concerning. Completely agree. Sorry, Terry Bell. Well, the VOD will be up right after this. It'll be live. So you guys can hang out and watch that after. But thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciated that. It was nice to hang out with you tonight. I'm going to go feed the pups. And like I said earlier in the video, if you guys missed that first part, I kind of wanted to stream tonight because I'm having a bit of a mental health crisis. And I don't really know when I'll be back to making like regular videos, but I do think that this is a really easy way to sort of check in with you guys and hang out. And yeah, I just really love you all. I just hiccuped. I really love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I had so much fun tonight. Thank you guys for hanging out. I love you. I love you. I love you. I have more sushi. I'm gonna go, oh my God, I have udon. I have udon in the microwave, I just realized. I got sushi and udon, and I ate some of the sushi, and then I left a little bit, but then udon. Oh, wait, Jolene, it's a Friday the 13th? Oh my God, it's gonna be a Friday the 13th? Oh, crap, I gotta plan something. All right, friends, I love you all so much. Be good, be safe. I love you guys. I think that's all. Bye. 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 I love you all. Bye. Oh wait, should I do this to Streamlabs? Should I end it through Streamlabs? Probably, actually. Okay, I'm gonna end it. Why did my hair look like that this whole time? I'm sorry. Anyway, goodbye. I love you. Muna! I love you. Thanks for